My mom stole my wedding dress. For my sister. A few days before my wedding, my mom gave my dress to my younger sister, claiming that she looked better in it. The wedding still took place, but my revenge left my family in complete shock. I always knew my mother favored my younger sister, Linda. It wasn't even a secret that family members would joke about it at gatherings, and I learned to take it. But I never thought it would come to this. 3 days before the wedding, I came home to find that my wedding dress was gone. At first I thought I had lost it, but I knew that was impossible. I had tried it on the night before and admired how perfect the intricate lace was, how it fit me as if it had been made especially for me. In a panic, I searched the entire apartment, opening closets, looking under beds, even rifling through laundry bags. It was not there. Fear lurked in my stomach as I picked up the phone and called my mother. She didn't answer. I called Linda. It went straight to voicemail. Something was wrong. I got in my car and drove straight to my parents' house. As I walked in, I heard laughter coming from the living room. My mom and Linda were there, sipping tea, looking completely at ease. And then I saw my dress hanging on the back of a chair. Linda turned to me with a beaming smile. "Oh, you came. Mom helped me with the final fitting. Doesn't it look amazing?" I stared at her, my mind trying to process what I was seeing. My mom was sitting there, completely unaffected, as if it was all normal. I squeezed out the words. "This is my wedding dress." Mom waved her hand dismissively. "Linda looks better in it." I felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. "My wedding is in 3 days. Give me back my dress." Linda crossed her arms. "You can buy another one. You can afford it." I turned to my mother, hoping she would intervene and set things right. But she just nodded. "She's right. It's nothing to worry about." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My mother, the person who was supposed to support me, had stolen my wedding dress and given it to Linda as if it were a spare set of clothes. I clenched my fists and tried to keep my voice calm. "It's not just a dress. This is my dress. I spent months searching for the perfect dress. I paid for it with my own money." Linda rolled her eyes. "So what? You can buy another one. This is the one I wanted." I turned to my mother. "You let this happen?" She took a sip of tea, completely unfazed. "Linda is a younger sister. She deserves to be the center of attention. It's only fair." Fair. I earned everything I had while Linda always got everything. It was my wedding, and my own mother had taken something very personal from me to please her favorite child. I took a deep breath. "Give it back, Linda. Now." She stood and handed me the skirt of the dress, admiring it as if it were a prize. "No. I like it and I'm keeping it." I felt something click inside of me. I threw myself at the dress, grabbing at the fabric, and Linda screamed. My mother jumped up and came between us. "That's enough. You're being selfish, Mary." I almost laughed at the absurdity of the situation. I was being selfish. "You stole from me." I pointed at Linda. "Take that off. Now." She crossed her arms. "I've already recycled it. It's mine." I felt sick to my stomach. My own mother had allowed her to alter my wedding dress before I even had a chance to wear it. Tears burned in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. I turned and walked away. If they thought they could do this to me without consequences, they were sorely mistaken. I drove home in complete silence, gripping the steering wheel so tightly that my knuckles turned white. I replayed the conversation over and over in my head, every word making my blood boil. They stole from me, and they weren't even sorry. By the time I parked in front of my house, I had made a decision. I was not going to let them ruin my wedding. If they thought I was just going to suck it up and accept it, they didn't know who they were dealing with. The next morning, I called the boutique where I bought the dress. The salesgirl immediately remembered me. When I explained what had happened, she was as horrified as I was. "Mary, I'm so sorry. I wish there was something we could have done, but this was the last one in stock." I wasn't surprised. It was a unique limited edition design. I specifically chose it because I didn't want a dress that someone else might have. I spent the next few hours searching every bridal shop in town, trying on dress after dress, but nothing seemed right. Every time I tried on a dress, I compared it to the one my sister had stolen, and nothing matched. Finally, exhausted and disappointed, I found the dress. It wasn't my dream dress, but it fit. I bought it and left the store knowing I had no choice. But as I drove home, something nagged at me. It was not enough. Linda and my mother had taken something precious from me. I had to do something to show them that I wasn't someone they could just walk over. They had no idea what to expect. For the next 2 days I acted as if nothing had happened. I didn't call my mother. I didn't write to Linda. I let them think I had given up. The night before the wedding I received a message from my mother. I hope you've come to your senses. Don't make a scene tomorrow. Linda looks stunning in her dress and you'll still have a beautiful wedding. I didn't answer. Instead I concentrated on my plan. Linda stole my dress. But she had no idea that I still had what she needed. The veil. The boutique gave me a custom veil to match the color of my dress. A one-of-a-kind piece that tied the whole look together. I kept it at home, planning to bring it to the ceremony on my wedding day. And now it was my trump card. Early the next morning I texted Linda. Hi, I have your veil. I'm bringing it to the venue. Don't worry. She replied almost immediately. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I totally forgot about them. You're the best. I smiled. Well, this was going to be good. A few hours later, I arrived at the ceremony wearing my second wedding dress. The ceremony was about to begin and the guests were already being seated. Linda was in the bridal suite getting ready. I knocked on the door. When she saw me, she exclaimed, "You have it." I lifted my veil. Of course I have. But there is a problem. Her face fell. What is it? I leaned forward, keeping my voice calm. I hope you don't mind, but I altered it. Just like you did with my dress. Linda's eyes widened. What do you mean? I slowly unfolded the curtain and revealed what I had done. It was ruined. The delicate lace? Gone. The sheer fabric? Cut into uneven strips. I had taken scissors to it the night before, making it completely unwearable. Linda gasped. What did you do? I shrugged. Oh, don't worry. You can afford another one. Her hands shook as she reached for the tattered fabric. It was supposed to match the dress. I smiled sweetly. Yes, it was. It didn't. Linda screamed, throwing the ruined veil on the floor. My mother stormed in and demanded an explanation of what was going on. Linda picked up the torn veil, her face red with anger. She destroyed it. My mother turned to me, her voice sharp. How could you do that to your sister? I met her gaze without flinching. How could you steal my wedding dress? Silence. Then I stepped back, letting them both stew in their own anger. Enjoy your wedding. And with that I left. Part 5. The Final Reckoning. I walked out of the honeymoon suite feeling lighter than I had in days. For the first time I was in control of the situation. I knew Linda would be desperate to find a replacement veil, and with only minutes left before the ceremony she had no choice. She would have to walk down the aisle looking inappropriate. No perfect bridal moment. No flawless photos. Just like she had taken from me. I walked into the ceremony where the guests were already whispering, feeling the tension. My fiancé, Jake, gave me a quizzical look as I took my seat next to him. I just squeezed his hand and whispered, I did it. Then just before the ceremony began, my mother appeared. Her face was tense with barely controlled anger. She leaned over and hissed, You ruined your sister's wedding look. I smiled. Did I? Because I remember someone ruining mine first. She opened her mouth, probably to scold me again, but then the music started. The doors at the back of the hall opened. And then I saw her. Linda walked in, her smug expression completely gone. She was angry, barely able to control herself. She was wearing my dress but without the veil and she looked completely different. She threw on some random accessory at the last second and it didn't fit at all. As she walked down the aisle I heard a whisper. Why does she look so unfinished? I thought she was supposed to have a different veil? Something's wrong. I just sat there and watched her squirm under the judgmental looks. Oh great. She stole my dream dress, so I made sure she didn't get her perfect moment either. But I wasn't done yet. Linda's wedding ceremony dragged on, but I barely paid attention. I was too busy enjoying the way her smile froze every time she noticed the guests whispering. She knew she didn't look perfect. When the reception began, my mother stopped trying to scold me. Instead, she stayed close to Linda, whispering fiercely every time someone asked what had happened to her veil. I stood back, sipping champagne and watching the disaster unfold. But I had one more step to take. After dinner, when everyone was relaxing and talking, I stood up and clinked my glass. Excuse me, I said sweetly, smiling at the crowd. I just wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude. Linda and my mother turned to me, both looking suspicious. They should have been. I continued. Family is everything, right? And weddings are such a special time to celebrate love, trust, and most of all, respect. I let the word hang in the air and then smiled directly at Linda. So I want to personally thank my mom and my dear sister for teaching me a very important lesson this week. Linda's eyes widened. Mary. I interrupted her. They taught me that some people, even family members, can betray you without a second thought. That some people think they can take whatever they want with no consequences. I took a slow sip from my drink. But they're wrong. The room fell silent. I could see the confusion on the faces of the guests as Linda's fiancé turned to her, eyebrows raised. He didn't know. I addressed the crowd in a light voice. Do you all know that 3 days before my wedding my mother and sister stole my wedding dress? Linda had it altered so I couldn't get it back. So if you're wondering why she looks a little off today, this is why. A few sighs. A nervous laugh. Linda's fiancé frowns. Wait, what? Linda jumps out of her seat. She's lying. I shrugged. Is she? Because I still have all the receipts for the dress. I can show them to you right now. Her fiancé turned to her. Linda, tell me she's lying. Linda's face was completely red. My mother tried to intervene, but it was too late. The damage was done. I smiled as I finished my drink. Anyway, congratulations to the happy couple. I raised my glass and walked away, leaving my mother and Linda to try and fix the situation. But the truth came out, and my revenge was not over. Linda's first wedding night had been a disaster. After my little speech, her mood changed completely. Her fiancé, her husband, spent the rest of the reception asking her questions that she clearly did not want to answer. The guests continued to look at her with silent judgment. When the cake was served, I left. My work here was done. The next day the real trouble began. I received a call from Linda's husband, Mark. At first I thought about ignoring it, but curiosity got the better of me. His voice was tense. Mary, I need to know the truth. Did Linda really steal your wedding dress? I didn't mince words. Yes. My mother gave it to her while I was away. She had it altered so I couldn't take it back. Silence. Then a deep sigh. She told me you gave it to her. I almost laughed. Why would I give away a dress I spent months looking for? Silence again. Then a curse. I can't believe this. I let him think. After a moment he thanked me and hung up. I didn't know what he was going to do with this information, but I had a feeling Linda's honeymoon wasn't going to be very fun. And my mother? She sent me a long, guilty message about how I had ruined my sister's big day. I didn't even bother to respond. Instead, I did something better. I blocked her number. And Linda's. And then for the first time in a long time I felt free. I married Jake in my second dress, but you know what? The wedding was still beautiful. Surrounded by people who really cared about me, I realized something. I didn't need them.